Киевский режим не скрывает подготовку.
The Kiev regime is openly preparing new terrorist acts against our country to escalate the conflict. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said this in a video message on October 8th, adding that he approved certain SBU, Ukraine's security service, special operations plans against Russia. It is evident that these plans consider the potential appearance of U.S. long-range Tomahawk missiles in the Ukrainian armed forces. These hypothetical possibilities were reportedly discussed over the phone between U.S. President Donald Trump and Zelensky on October 11 to 12, as reported by their respective press services. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas stated, "We welcome all tools that make Ukraine stronger and Russia weaker." Today, on October 15th, at NATO headquarters in Brussels, the 31st meeting of the so-called Contact Group for Ukraine's Defense Aid, the Ramstein format, is being co-chaired by the UK and Germany. According to Ukrainian media, Ukraine's defense minister denies Shmyhal plans to present updated mobilization data to participants and discuss further support for the Ukrainian armed forces, including the transfer of additional air defense systems and the use of high-precision weapons provided by alliance states for continuing strikes deep into Russia. We will also revisit Ukraine's mobilization issues today. All this serves as yet another convincing evidence to the lack of political will for peace in the West, something they often like to discuss. As for the political will for peace from the Kiev regime, it is not even a consideration. By deliberately prolonging the conflict, they pursue their narrow self-interests, aim to prevent the collapse of the world order they have created, and inflict maximum damage on our country without considering the inevitable consequences, including for themselves. Media reports indicate an uncontrolled spread of firearms in Moldova, originating, naturally, from Ukrainian territory. The number of crimes committed using these weapons has increased 2.5 times in the first 9 months of this year compared to the same period last year. Moreover, there is a noticeable influx of Ukrainian soldiers into Moldova who have deserted, as mentioned earlier, from the Ukrainian armed forces, as well as mercenaries leaving the combat zone in Ukraine. Clearly, such a trend does not bode well for the safety and stability of Moldova's citizens. Discussions about democracy, protection, and security are out of place here. We hope that the agreements reached through the mediation of Egypt, Qatar, the USA, and Turkey regarding Gaza will be strictly and fully adhered to. This particularly concerns ensuring unimpeded humanitarian aid deliveries to all in need, creating necessary conditions for the return of displaced persons and the restoration of Gaza's nearly completely destroyed civilian infrastructure. From the outset of the Gaza crisis, Russia has actively and consistently worked to stop hostilities and initiate a political diplomatic process for its resolution. Along with like-minded countries, our nation prepared several draft resolutions for the UN Security Council. Unfortunately, all have been blocked by Western countries, preventing the Council from formulating a consolidated response. Despite this, we intend to continue closely coordinating efforts with partners, primarily in the region, to contribute to collective measures and work towards long-term stabilization of the situation in the Palestinian-Israeli conflict zone and the Middle East as a whole.
French President Emmanuel Macron said, "If Russia persists in its obstinate warmongering and its refusal to come to the negotiating table, it will have to pay the price." We would like to hear your comments on this.
This is yet another attempt, executed in a very crude manner, to impose on Russia the demands of the Kiev regime and its European curators. Over the years, we have heard similar threats from Western politicians. Multiple shots at source asterisk. Macron's statement further confirms that France is not interested in the honest joint search for ways to achieve a long-term resolution to the Ukrainian crisis, but is focused on escalating confrontation with Russia. It is entirely evident to us that under the pretext of so-called ceasefire and peace negotiations, Paris is striving to give Ukraine a significant respite to regain strength and, overall, engage in militarization, escalation, and so on. We observe a clear pattern. The worse the situation in France, the more aggressive the statements from its leadership against Russia. Our bilateral agenda with Syria encompasses a wide range of issues regarding Russian-Syrian cooperation. Discussions include topics surrounding our military presence in Syria, including in the context of possible reformatting of the functions of Russian military facilities. Naturally, Such questions and contacts are conducted in a closed format. The Russian Foreign Ministry closely monitors the development of the situation around the latest wave of blatant Nazism, the inhumane decision by the Latvian authorities to expel our compatriots who did not confirm their knowledge of the Latvian language. Of course, this is barbarism, and of course, we strongly condemn it. This is an absolutely explicit expression of Nazism against Russian-speaking residents. Thus far, mass deportations are not occurring. Various administrative rights and mechanisms may be engaged to defend compatriots' rights. Particular outrage is caused by the monstrous practice in Riga of elderly people being forced out of the country. Over 3,000 people have been compelled to leave this country. Some targeted expulsions are occurring. The Russian embassy in Riga will continue to provide maximum assistance to our compatriots caught in this whirlwind. Assistance will be given to our compatriots who find themselves targeted by such Nazism. They are welcome in all parts of our fatherland. We have repeatedly not only said this but also backed our words with deeds. We will indeed use all the tools at our disposal to draw attention to this issue on relevant international platforms. We will undoubtedly expose this policy, though once again, I say, it cannot be called a policy. It is the Nazism of Latvian xenophobes.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.